So what I did is I collected every scientist. What is his worldview? Is he a Christian? If so, what denomination of Christianity? Where did he live? What did he contribute to? Is he a father in the sciences? And did he win an award? Collected all of that data. Here's antiquity, the most ancient of times. Before anyone was doing science, we were doing science. Here are the names of the people who were doing science in antiquity, and this is the one father in this generation. A father in science is simply somebody who is the first person in the discipline, who founds the discipline. Make sense? Keep that in mind. Here are what we used to call the Dark Ages, tip of the iceberg in the Dark Age. We don't call these the Dark Ages anymore. These are, I guess that's maybe a pejorative. To be honest, these were never dark. There's a lot of activity in the Dark Ages, so sometimes people will call this the Early Middle Ages. That's fine, but here are the scientists who are Christians. 3 are fathers in their discipline. Write these down, these are important. No, don't write them down. You don't even need to take pictures because I'm going to send you this entire video. So you're going to get the entire video with all these knuckleheads in it, okay? Here's the tip of the scientific iceberg in the Middle Ages. Now, as I was building these little stupid busts, I think Susie thought I had lost my mind, okay? I didn't come out of that room for how many days? I don't even know. And at the end of the day, you'd have like 40 busts built. And it felt like that's a lot of work for a very little product, right? Because you got to identify what's the best picture available, is it the right image, take it apart, put it on a bust, render it out as a clear background PNG, and then stick it in the image. But there it is. Here are the fathers in this generation and a mother. If you're a male or a female, we still call you a father of the discipline. Sorry, that's just the way they do it. But you see there are some women in here too. Just want you to see it. Here is the early Renaissance. You can see it's starting to get crowded, right? And here are the fathers in the disciplines. And then we come to this explosive period of time called the scientific revolution. And Christians own it. They crush it. This is a much shorter period of time than anything else I've shown you so far, and look how much more crowded it is. And some of these are fathers. For example, when I saw these 4, I just knew right away. Look at those 4 right there. Look at them. Just look at them. That's got to be the father of every ridiculous Christian rock band like Stryker, don't you think? The same guys are right there in the picture. Come on. Those are the same people, I think, aren't they? Anyway, let's go back to all of our scientists. Some of these are fathers in their disciplines. And we have award winners. Primarily because the first academies rendering awards in the scientists were established by, shockingly, Christians. Just wanted you to see it. But then, modernity. Darwin. Post-Darwin, don't be surprised. Would you be surprised if I was to tell you that post-Darwin, now Darwin has initiated another view of the world in which you don't even need a God to affect change over time? So I would expect in this generation there be fewer Christians, right? Because now there are competing worldviews that come into play in modern times. Nope, wrong. Actually, more people in modernity are Christians crushing it in the sciences than there were in the scientific revolution. Many of these people completely understood Darwinism and actually were not Darwinists, but they were interested in evolutionary sciences. As a matter of fact, all of these fathers in the evolutionary sciences are Christians. Some of them did not believe that Darwinism was true, of course, or did not believe that evolution was true. Others thought, well, did God use this process to change over time? Look, all of us in this room, by the way, believe in evolution. You know that. Because we're very different looking. Look at all of us in this room. We are very different looking, yet we all came from the same couple. And then we were all funneled through 3 sons of Noah. How in the world can we look this different if we have the same heritage? Because we believe in micro changes based on environment over time. What we don't believe is molecule to man. We don't believe that. But we believe that variations within the species are clearly possible because here we are. But so that a lot of these people were thinking in that way. Does that make sense? Here are the fathers of mathematics. If you like mathematics, I don't care what version of mathematics you like, you can thank a Christian because we are responsible for all of them. All of them. Let me think. All of them. And philosophy of science. We established the foundation for thinking about science. And now if you've got some favorite geeked out version of science that you like, it's probably on this wall. Because these are all the major disciplines in the sciences. These are all of them. And they are all fathered by Christians. All of them, from modern astronomy, modern chemistry, to quantum mechanics, Christians started these things. And if you have a certain region of the world you're from and you like that part of the world, well, whoever the father is in your region, he's a Christian, more than likely. And if you've had an MRI or an X-ray or an ultrasound, you can thank a Christian, because if it comes to medical sciences, there's no one involved more in medicine than Christians, largely because Jesus' followers want to heal the sick, and we always have. And we also crush it in technology. That's why I say all of this technology, electricity, electromagnetics, computer sciences, code writers, the earliest codes in computers, we wrote those. Engineering and technology, if you drove a car to get here, all the cool stuff you can think of too, we've crushed that. As a matter of fact, if you used a calendar on your phone to get here, you can thank a Christian, because we basically have mastered the calendar, because we're always trying to set the date for Easter. Also, if you're like me and you like sugar, like downstairs last night, we had great desserts. Did you notice that last night? That was awesome. I thought it was awesome. Well, you can thank a Christian for that, because we basically are involved in desserts. Like honey on my toast, you can thank a Christian for that. Ever eat a steak? Well, you can thank a Christian for that. All this cool stuff, we are actually innovators. Now, my kids have jumped out of planes. I don't know why you would ever do that. I think it's stupid, okay? The planes are there so you don't have to jump out. Why in the world would you jump out if there's a plane there? You stay in the plane, but you can thank a Christian for parachutes. Now, I like submarines, just the opposite experience. You can thank a Christian for those. And look, I hope that you never need this in your life, but if you should need it, you can thank a Christian, because we have actually invented things like Viagra. Yeah, it's true. And modern fly fishing is Christians. Did you even know that? Turns out that we have innovated every major scientific field of study. We started it and we innovated in it. And I know I've only showed you dead guys for the most part, a lot of dead guys here, but there are award winners here I wanted to share with you. For example, we have won all of these major scientific awards. This level of depth of the awards we have won cannot be said of any other worldview. Look it up. We've won all of these and all of these and all of these and all of these and all of these. And the one on the bottom here that everyone thinks is the best, the Nobel Prize, I wanted to show you the breakdown on Nobel Prize candidates. Yes, there are some atheists in here, but not many, about 10%. Yes, there are some other spiritual worldviews in here, but not many. This is a surprising group, Jews. This is Christians. These are the laureates in Nobel Prizes in the sciences. Now, I only showed you dead guys, but here are the living guys right now who are doing the work. And they are award winners. 2 of them are actually endorsers on Person of Interest. They're friends of mine, Michael Behe at Lehigh and James Tour at Rice. Every major branch of science, and we've outperformed every other group combined. Now, is anyone talking about this right now? If you listen to culture, would you think that we are innovators in the sciences? Would you think that science is what it is today because of us? No. I hear this all the time. I only trust scientists. That's the source of truth. If a scientist doesn't say it, I will not accept it. Let me show you the history of the church. Here are the earliest church leaders before Constantine made Christianity the religion of the empire. Okay, so these are called the Ante-Nicene Church Fathers. Okay? If all you had was the writing of the Ante-Nicene Church Fathers, you could reconstruct a lot of the story of Jesus because they wrote to each other. And if all you had was their writing, you could reconstruct the story of Jesus pretty well. So these are the church fathers. I want to just look at the people in the Common Era who were fathers in the sciences. I'll put back a few more. These are the fathers in the sciences, okay? That's every father of a modern science right there. These are called the science fathers. Well, it turns out these folks also tell us something about Jesus because they wrote to one another. They wrote books about Jesus. They answered questions. They wrote to their family members about Jesus. And if all you had, if every Christian document was destroyed, but you do have the personal writings of the science fathers in history, you could actually reconstruct more data about Jesus than you can from the church fathers. Dramatically more. The entire story of Jesus, every verse, every teaching, everything about his early life, all of his teaching, his statements to his disciples, all of this can be reconstructed not from Scripture, but from the writings of scientists. That's why I know the impact is phenomenal. This cannot be said of any other historical figure. Whoever you're thinking of, he might have impacted the sciences, but you cannot reconstruct his story from the writings of scientists. You can when it comes to Jesus. They believed in his death and resurrection. They believed in miracles. We were talking earlier to somebody, look, I know that I have the power to stop gravity. You don't think that the author of gravity has the power to stop gravity? These folks did science, but they also knew there was a divine being who was the author of everything they were examining. You don't have to divorce your mind in order to do science. So it turns out they agree with the church fathers. So when someone tells me I trust scientists more than anyone else, I always ask, well, do you trust what they had to say about Jesus? Because they had a lot to say about Jesus. If you can trust them, you should trust them on this too.